For joining us here in Ottawa today to make an important announcement for the City of Ottawa, your nation's capital, but also the second largest city in the province of Ontario. We are significantly important not only to our local residents, but also to the entire country. And when we host massive events, when we hold community events, when we deal with world issues on the streets of our city, it's important that the Ottawa Police are sufficiently equipped to deal with those challenges. Today's announcement will be a significant opportunity for the Ottawa Public Police here in our city to rise to those challenges which have been increasing in recent years. I'm pleased to be here today. My name is Lisa MacLeod. I am the Member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Nepean. I do apologize that we're not in Nepean today. It would be just slightly less cooler, a bit more sunny, and of course, always a more exciting place to be than on the other side of town. So I do make that apology. I want to welcome our special guests here today. I would like to welcome His Worship Mark Sutcliffe, the Honourable Michael Kerzner, who is the Solicitor General and a great friend of mine, Deputy Commissioner Carrie Dott from the Ontario Provincial Police, and of course, our Police Chief, Eric Stubbs, who is no stranger to anyone. I also would like to acknowledge our City Councillors who are here today, Marty Carr, who is the Acting Commissioner of the Police Services Board. What are you doing?
Chair.
You're the Chair?
Acting Chair.
Okay, Acting Chair. So we used to call that Commissioner when I was a little girl. We would also like to acknowledge and support Kathy Curry, who's here from Canada today as our local city councillor, also on the Police Services Board. And of course, my city councillor, Wilson Lowe, who also came all the way from Barrhaven today. It's wonderful to have you. I'd like to begin now with a land acknowledgement. As you know, Ottawa is built on the unceded Algonquin and Anishinaabe territory. The peoples of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation have lived on this territory for millennia. Their culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land. The Ottawa Police Services honors the peoples and land of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation. The Ottawa Police Services honors all First Nations, Inuit and Métis peoples and their valuable past and present contributions to this land. It gives me great pleasure as a result of all of that to welcome our Mayor, our Worship, the Honourable Mark Sutcliffe, to speak a little bit more about today's announcement and to then welcome our guest speaker, the Honourable Michael Kerzner. Thank you. Mark, please. Oh.
There we go.
Oh, this is how old I'm getting, ladies and gentlemen. I got back up.
Thank you, Lisa.
And they're potting me for getting back up.
Thank you, Lisa. Always great to see you. And it's a pleasure to welcome back to Ottawa Michael Kerzner, the Solicitor General. Je suis très heureux d'être ici avec mes collègues du gouvernement de l'Ontario ce matin et du service de police d'Ottawa pour lancer une nouvelle phase dans la lutte contre la criminalité à Ottawa. I'm very excited to be here this morning, and I want to thank the Solicitor General Michael Kerzner and Premier Doug Ford for the work that has led to this announcement that we're making this morning. J'aimerais commencer par remercier le Premier ministre Ford et le Solicitor General Michael Kerzner. I'm very grateful for the support that the provincial government has shown to Ottawa on many, many different occasions to address some of our most critical challenges. And we wouldn't be standing here today on this very hot tarmac if it were not for the fact that you understood Ottawa's unique challenges and the risks that we're facing as a community. This is a really critical time for our city, and I remember a conversation I had with the Premier about the geographic size of Ottawa, how Ottawa is 4.5 times the size of Toronto, how you could fit, as I've said many times, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary inside Ottawa. So it's a huge geographic territory for the Ottawa Police Service to cover and to serve. And I want to thank, as I always do, I want to thank the representatives of the Ottawa Police Service and the OPP who are here today. Thank you for the work that you do every single day to serve our residents. We are all truly grateful for your service and for the care that you show to our community. So thank you to all of you. I want to take a second to personally thank Chief Stubbs, because if it wasn't for your hard work, your advocacy, your input, your guidance, and your in-depth understanding of the needs of our city and the critical need for this type of resource, we would not have been able to receive such an asset. So thank you, Chief Stubbs. Merci. This couldn't be happening at a better time for Ottawa. We have unique challenges as a city. We are facing an increase in vehicle theft and vehicle-related crimes, other crimes as well. Fortunately, we live in a very safe community. The crime rate in Ottawa is relatively low, but there are rising challenges, particularly in the suburban parts of our city, and we have to address an area that is geographically very large. So because of the support of the Government of Ontario, we are being included in a program that will allow us to do that. And the helicopter of the kind that you see behind us today will be put to great use by City of Ottawa and the Ottawa Police Service. So the pilots and ground crew will be supplied by the Ontario Provincial Police, along with training for Ottawa Police Service tactical flight officers. And we'll use this new police helicopter, City of Ottawa and the Province of Ontario, between different police services, the OPP and the Ottawa Police Service, police, municipal, and provincial governments working together to make our cities safer. La police, les municipalités et le gouvernement provinciaux travaillent ensemble pour rendre nos villes plus sécuritaires. So thank you again to Premier Doug Ford and Minister Kersner for recognizing Ottawa's unique needs and responding. And of course, again, thank you to the leaders and to the members of the OPP and the Ottawa Police Service. Thank you for continuing to serve and protect the residents of our community. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And now I'm very pleased to introduce the Solicitor General of Ontario, the Honourable Michael Kersner. Michael.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. Bonjour à tous le monde. C'est merveilleux d'être ici aujourd'hui avec l'incroyable service de police d'Ottawa, les membres de la police, nos amis, and nos collègues. And Mayor, it's great to be with you and the councillors here today. Good morning. Bonjour à tous le monde. C'est merveilleux d'être ici aujourd'hui avec l'incroyable service de police d'Ottawa, les membres de la police, nos amis, and nos collègues. And Mayor, it's great to be with you and the councillors here today. My colleague, Lisa MacLeod, our men and women in uniform. As I've said before, we've never had a government in my lifetime that has prioritized public safety more than our government led by Premier Ford. Pour moi, il n'y a rien de plus important que la sécurité de notre province. La ville d'Ottawa en fait partie, and this includes our nation's capital, the City of Ottawa. As Solicitor General, my highest priority is the safety of the people of this province. And we believe and we know that our inherent right to live safely in our own homes and communities, to see our kids off to school, to check in on our seniors and loved ones, to go to work, to play in the park, to shop, and to pray safely is something that belongs to every one of us. And it starts at every shift when a police officer throughout our province puts on their uniform with a duty to fulfill this right. They do an incredible job fighting all forms of criminality, including auto theft. Auto theft, unfortunately, is becoming all too common, and we have had enough. Every day in Ontario and here in Ottawa, we see reports of more cars being stolen, more homes being broken into, some violently, with doors being kicked in, and others as a result of a carjacking. And this is totally unacceptable. And as I've said before, there are some criminals who feel this is okay. And my message is simple. It's not okay. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will put you out of business. We will always hold the criminals to account, and we will put them behind bars where they belong. And thanks to Premier Ford, we are doubling down today. Je suis ici parce que la sécurité publique est très importante. C'est important pour notre gouvernement et pour le Premier ministre de l'Ontario, Doug Ford. Notre gouvernement soutiendra toujours la police pour mettre fin au vol de voitures. Le vol de voitures dans cette province est inacceptable. Il n'y a pas de place pour le vol de voitures dans nos communautés. There is no place for auto theft in our communities. Criminal organizations have become more sophisticated, and so have we. And over the last short while, our government has made strategic investments to enhance and provide extra resources to our police services throughout our province to fight crime and fight it hard. And let me give you some brief examples. $51 million invested to fight auto theft, removing the unnecessary barriers of entry at the Ontario Police College, including wiping out the tuition fees of almost $17,000 per recruit. And we're seeing over 600 new boots on the ground this year alone. And Chief Stubbs, we're seeing them in Ottawa. And thank you for the great work that you are doing and your command leaders are doing for Ottawa Police Service. We're investing over $112 million in the bail compliance and warrant apprehension grant, funds that will be used to make sure violent and repeat offenders are off our streets. And just 2 weeks ago, I traveled to the Port of Montreal so I could see for myself our stolen cars. And together with my counterpart in Quebec, we will be speaking and requesting that the federal government intercede and make changes on inspections of outbound containers, especially those whose suspected cargo may include stolen cars. I want to thank the OPP, our municipal and First Nations police service, La Sûreté de Québec, who continue to work daily in recovering our stolen vehicles. So today we are here in an extraordinary occasion at the legendary site here in Rockcliffe. Through the Joint Air Support Unit that we are announcing today, and the Premier announced yesterday, the Ottawa Police Service will have access to a rapid response crime-fighting tool that will help the police, the Ottawa Police Service, fight auto theft, find missing and vulnerable people, and help put organized crime out of business once and for all. This helicopter will be owned and operated by the OPP, but make no mistake, keeping the people Ottawa safe will be its priority. Our government has had enough, and we will spare no expense to ensure the safety of the people of this province. To conclude, criminals think they triumph when governments do nothing. Our government, led by Premier Ford, will do everything possible, because we know a safe Ontario is a strong Ontario. Un Ontario avec un sens de sécurité et un Ontario fort. And our commitment for public safety is absolute and constant. Le soutien de notre gouvernement à votre égard est absolu et sans relâche. Nous n'arrêterons pas de poursuivre les criminels tant qu'ils n'arrêtent pas de nuire. Under Premier Ford, we will not rest until every thief and career criminal is out of business, because Ontarians work too hard to have their stolen cars, their stolen goods threatened each and every day. This is unacceptable. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech. And now I'd like to turn it over to Deputy Commissioner Kerry Dart from the OPP to provide a few remarks.
Good morning, and thank you, Minister. I am honored to be here today on behalf of OPP Commissioner Thomas Creek, who sends his regrets. Today marks a very significant milestone for our organization with the enhancement of our OPP aviation services through the addition of 2 new helicopters and the establishment of the new OPP-led Joint Air Support Unit. For the first time in our organization's history, our aviation services will provide dedicated air support to other police services, namely Ottawa Police Service and Toronto Police Service. This announcement is even more monumentous for the OPP as it coincides with our organization's 50th anniversary of our OPP aviation service. Air support is critical to the success of various police operations, such as locating stolen vehicles, pursuing and apprehending suspects, and finding vulnerable and missing persons to reunite them with their families and loved ones. Thanks to this provincial government, the OPP, along with our valued policing partners, will be better equipped than ever to perform those functions and other essential tasks. Over and above the provincial government, our policing partners, many other public and community safety advocates have contributed through a tremendous amount of dedication and hard work to see this initiative come to fruition. With this initiative, the OPP and our law enforcement partners will have the most effective, sophisticated tools to reduce crime, hold criminals accountable, and help ensure the safety of those who live, work, and come to visit Ontario. The OPP is honored to serve in a province alongside dedicated police services who are also committed to the safety and well-being of its citizens, as we are. The OPP looks forward to working together and being a part of the Joint Air Support Unit to enhance the safety of the communities we serve. Thank you, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Chief Stubbs.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for coming today. I'm the last speaker, so you'll all be happy. I know it's hot out there. Being the last speaker, some of what I have in my speech has already been said, but it's important, I think, to repeat some of the key points to what a great initiative this is. So thank you for joining us today. This is a big day for the Ottawa Police Service, and I really want to extend a warm welcome again to the Minister Kersner, who is has been a great supporter of the Ottawa Police Service. Of course, Mayor, thank you very much for everything that you do with the police, supporting us day in, day out. MPP McLeod is a great partner in the city of Ottawa as well, too. We do have, of course, our Vice Chair, Marty Carr, here, and Councillor Curry, who are on the police board, who we interact with on a regular basis, and great to see Councillor Lowe here as well. And I do want to talk later in my remarks. I'm going to talk about Deputy Commissioner Dart and the OPP. I know Deputy Commissioner Thompson is back there as well too, another great partner of ours that we will deal with on a regular basis. We are deeply grateful to the provincial government for this significant funding initiative, and to the Solicitor General for his unwavering support of the Ottawa Police Service. This new helicopter is a game changer for our operational capabilities, and it's an exciting step forward for all of us. Nous sommes vraiment reconnaissants à la province pour cet investissement et le soutien indéfectible du Solicitor General. Ce nouvel hélicoptère représente une amélioration monumentale de nos capacités opérationnelles. Yesterday, Deputy Commissioner Dart and I were in Mississauga for the Premier's announcement, and I had an opportunity to thank him personally for this investment into the City of Ottawa. And he, like the Mayor did, commented on how large our geographic area is, by far the largest in Canada for a municipal police agency. And that poses some unique challenges for our police operations. The vast size of our city means we need to be able to respond swiftly and effectively from one end of our region to the next, to the thousands of calls each year that require a police presence. This helicopter will greatly enhance our ability to do just that. And here's a few examples. And of course, first and foremost, auto theft. This helicopter will give us the upper hand in tracking and apprehending suspects more safely. Just last night, we had a stolen vehicle. We chased the stolen vehicle. We backed off because of speed and safety. If the helicopter's in the air, we don't have to worry about that. They do that job for us. I will say, though, for that event last night, our team was fantastic, located the stolen vehicle and the person inside of it, and arrested them as well. So we got the vehicle back and we got an arrest. But it would have been easier if we had the helicopter. In 2023, we had over 1,000 vehicles stolen in Ottawa, and we're trending for a higher number than that. So like many other jurisdictions facing this issue, we want to see that, and we want our recovery rate, which is at about 55% right now. We want to increase that as well. But as mentioned, other areas of the Ottawa Police Service will see valuable assistance from this helicopter. Our tactical teams, who respond to our most high-risk calls for service, will benefit from the aerial support, making their operations safer and more effective. We do have the odd major event and demonstration in Ottawa, and they're significant. This helicopter will provide our team on the ground with a bird's eye view, helping us manage crowds and ensure everyone's safe. Big events like Canada Day, when heads of state like President Biden, President Zelensky, or some of our demonstrations that have thousands of people, the helo will be in the air. Another key benefit of this helicopter is its ability to support search and rescue operations when someone goes missing. Every second counts. And you know our area is so big. We have a large rural areas. We have many parks. This helicopter will help from the air with its FLIR be able to locate people quicker and more effectively. And as mentioned, this initiative is a joint partnership with the Ontario Provincial Police, and we are honored to work alongside our valued partners. And I do want to thank OPP Commissioner Thomas Creek. He is taking some downtime, which I'm happy to hear. He's a great leader. Deputy Commissioner Dart is here. I've known Carrie for a number of years, an incredible partner, and I know we're going to work very well together along with Deputy Commissioner Thompson. Chief Superintendent Stephanie Patterson is here. She's actually on leave right now, but knows this is important, and she's here. She's the regional commander for Eastern Ontario. We're going to work seamlessly with her as well. And I do want to thank all of them for their leadership and collaboration. And this teamwork that we have with the Ontario Police, it shows the strength of our partnership and the commitment we all share of keeping our communities safe. And as mentioned before, this is an OPP-led program, and they will provide the pilots and the ground crew. We did mention that we are supplying the tactical field flight officers for the helicopters. These are the officers that will sit next to the pilot, that know the community inside out, that will work the radio, that will work the equipment, the great equipment that this helicopter is going to have. They're very important part of this operation. And it's also, of course, as mentioned, this helicopter will extend beyond the boundaries of our jurisdiction. We will go into the OPP jurisdiction as well and help them as well. That's why this is teamwork. Merci encore une fois à la province, au Solicitor General et tous nos partenaires pour le soutien et la collaboration. Merci à tous. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour à tous. So many of you know me. My name is Acting Sergeant Amy Gagnon. I'm from the Ottawa Police, and I'll be your moderator as we head into question period. Alors, je suis la sergente par intérim, Amy Gagnon, et je serai votre modératrice pour cette session de questions-réponses. Thanks to all of you for coming and making the trip for this very momentous occasion. Alors, merci beaucoup. So I'm going to invite each media. There are 2 mics. We are live streaming. Alors, on est en direct. Je vais inviter aux médias de venir poser leurs questions au micro. Alors, introduisez-vous une question de suivi. So please introduce yourself. You have 1 question and 1 follow-up question. We will start now, and I see you're ready.
Bonjour, Anne-Charlotte Carignan, Radio-Canada. Ma question est pour la personne la plus à l'aise de répondre. Pourquoi avoir choisi un hélicoptère plutôt qu'un drone qui aurait peut-être été moins coûteux? Puis, combien ça va coûter en termes d'opération avoir un hélicoptère comme celui-ci à Ottawa?
So why have chosen a helicopter rather than a drone? And what is the operational cost annually? Who would like to take it? Oui, oui, tu peux répondre. OK. Est-ce qu'il peut répondre en anglais ou je peux le traduire aussi?
Oui, bien, si vous pouvez répondre dans les deux langues.
Oui,
both
je vais le laisser
languages
répondre en
will
anglais
really
puis je vais
appreciate
donner
it.
la
Okay.
réponse. Merci.
Amy,
Go for it.
tu
I'll
peux faire ça
translate.
aussi.
Yeah, I'll translate.
Okay. You know, we do, at the Ottawa Police Service, we do have a fairly robust drone program. However, the limitations of a drone, it's a valuable program for us. It helps our officers a lot on the ground in a number of different areas, but there is nothing like having a helicopter that can extend over a general area. The rules with a drone is the pilot who's on the ground has to be able to see and view the drone at all times. So it's restricted to a certain geographic area and can't follow a stolen vehicle. Perhaps can search for a missing person if we think the person is in a general wooded area, but very, very limited to really a geographic area. There's no doubt that the cost is significant, but as I mentioned in my remarks, the different units and types of work that this helicopter will do is vast and far exceeds what a general drone can do. I mentioned our special events and demonstrations and the heads of state that come here. It's very important that we have that viewpoint and that ability to move with that head of state, to move with a protest as it's marching, and to keep everybody safe on the ground. The frequency of these demonstrations are increasing, and we need to be properly equipped to manage them.
Alors, à Ottawa, on a quand même un programme de drones très robuste et très vaste. Par contre, les drones ont leurs limites. Et puis, vous le savez peut-être que le pilote d'un drone doit avoir le drone en vue en tout temps. Donc, pour certains crimes et surtout pour les manifestations, ça limite notre visibilité dans les airs. Alors, avec un hélicoptère, ça va nous permettre de suivre, que ce soit une manifestation, que ce soit un véhicule volé, que ce soit une personne qui est portée disparue. Ça va nous permettre de le suivre dans la superficie qu'Ottawa a. Donc, c'est sûr que les coûts sont quand même plus dispendieux. Par contre, le service donné va vraiment avoir la valeur. Question suivante?
Oui, est-ce que le 134 millions va couvrir les frais d'opération de cet hélicoptère-là?
Does 134 million cover the operational costs? Oui.
Parfait. And if I could just ask a small question about transit to Mayor Sutcliffe, I can ask in English and then you can answer in both languages.
Oui, OK.
The service of the O-train, it will be reduced. There will be less transportation. Why doing so? And how will you keep the service going and be appropriate for the population?
Alors, c'est une décision d'OC Transpo. C'est leur décision. C'est nécessaire toujours de maintenir le service en face de la demande pour le service. Alors, s'il y a moins de passagers, nous savons qu'il y a beaucoup moins de passagers qui vont au centre-ville chaque matin et qui font le retour à la maison chaque après-midi. Et entre le matin, la période quand beaucoup de monde vont au centre-ville, entre 9 heures et 15 heures, nous savons qu'il y a moins de passagers. Alors, c'est nécessaire pour avoir un service qui répondre à la demande. Alors, en anglais, this was a decision of OC Transpo. We're always calibrating the service to the needs of our residents, and if there is less demand at a particular time, then it's important that we offer service at the level that people are using the service, and it allows us to have those resources redeployed to other areas. So we know that fewer people are going downtown, particularly in off-peak times between 9 and 3. And so if fewer people are using the service, which we've known for some time, then that's what we need to do. we're under extraordinary pressure with the transit budget. There's no question about that. We face historic shortfalls in our transit budget. So wherever we can save money in order to sustain public transit, we're going to do that. And it's important to note as well that if we see an increase in demand, if more and more people are using the train during those off-peak times, we can add trains, we can increase service at any time. So the service will always be calibrated to demand.
Merci.
I'm going to ask you guys keep your questions to the helicopter and our partnership, please. It's warm. Let's try and keep it short. Alors, on va rester nos questions pour la raison pour laquelle on est ici. D'accord?
Sébastien Larocque, TVA Nouvelle. Question pour M. Sutcliffe d'abord. Vous l'avez mentionné en anglais, mais si vous pouvez juste répéter l'importance de cette annonce pour la ville d'Ottawa. Qu'est-ce que ça va changer concrètement pour nous ici?
Alors, c'est très important pour la ville. Alors, je tiens à remercier encore une fois le premier ministre Ford et le ministre Kersner, le Soliciteur Général, parce que ça améliore nos efforts à bâtir les crimes à Ottawa. Comme le chef de la police a dit, nous avons plusieurs enjeux, nous avons plusieurs défis. Il y a beaucoup de choses à faire pour la police à Ottawa, comme les manifestations, les visites des présidents d'ailleurs. Alors, les ressources sont toujours pressées et c'est difficile à faire tout ce que nous voulons faire. Alors, ça améliore la service de la police, comme pour les vols de véhicules, pour les autres enjeux à laquelle la police fait face.
Excellent. Question for Mr. Stubb now. You talked about a police chase last night. Do you have more details on that chase and what the helicopter might have changed in that situation?
Well, you know, initially our officers were able to locate the vehicle and attempted to stop it. And as we usually see, the vehicles will speed away. And we have very strict parameters in what we can chase, given the conditions, the speeds, with safety as the utmost. Not only the safety of the officers, the safety of the driver, and innocent civilians that might come into contact with that car. So they made a decision to back off based on that safety and security. But the vehicle left, but they were able to locate the vehicle a time later and the male that was there and arrested him. On numerous charges. I know they found a weapon in the vehicle, they found drugs, and the person, importantly as well, too, was also on bail and breached both bail. It was charged on 2 counts of breach of bail as well, too, and will be in front of a judge today.
Can you specify what area of the city that was in?
You know, where it was located. Deputy Burnett, do you happen to know what area that was in? If not, we'll get that to you
Perfect,
after. Yeah. Know where it started. I'm not sure where it ended.
Probably the East End.
Yeah, probably not in MPP McLeod's area. Yeah.
Thank you very much for taking our questions. And I'm from the CBC. I'm going to be asking, if possible, to answer in English and French.
Okay.
So, yeah, talking again about last night's chase, I'm just wondering, you know, how quickly are we going to see the helicopters actually in the air and working, since obviously we need them right now? And also, will they be based all the time in Ottawa?
Right. So part of our deployment schedule is it's going to be data driven too, right? When is it that we are having the highest number of thefts of vehicle? And often it is at night when people are sleeping. So to have proactive patrols and to be able to, whether they're in the air at that moment, but they're ready and ready to jump into the air at any time, we will have that ability. Not every night, of course, but specific times where we want to proactively have a patrol, we'll do so.
And sorry, I also meant just, when is it ready to go?
Oh, when will it be operational? Yeah. You know, the OPP actually, I'll just speak generally. We had a meeting there about a month ago, and of course there's a procurement process. and there's securing. We're looking at 12 to 18 months before it's operationally in the air. But we do have the OPP has been very generous with their existing fleet. If there's a situation, maybe a Canada Day, etc., a big event that we have, they're open. They'll make arrangements to try to get a helicopter up here to use for that particular day.
Is it possible to get that in French as well? I'm sorry.
Yeah, peut-être. Je pense, mon ami professeur.
Je vais mettre le chapeau du chef pour le moment. Alors, pour ce qui est de la disponibilité de l'hélicoptère, c'est sûr qu'il y a une période de procurement et puis il y a tout un système qui doit être suivi. Donc, on regarde ça probablement 12 à 18 mois avant qu'il soit présent dans notre secteur. Par contre, à cause du partenariat, si jamais il y a une nécessité, on peut faire appel à nos amis, à la police provinciale de l'Ontario pour nous aider. Et puis, quand est-ce qu'il va être disponible, quand est-ce qu'il va être utilisé? Bien, ça va être vraiment, on va utiliser ce qui est disponible en tant que statistique. On sait que les vols d'auto, on sait que certains appels sont durant la nuit et certains jours, certaines nuits plus que d'autres. Alors, on va vraiment déployer proactivement, selon les formations qu'on a basées sur la dernière année, les derniers 18 mois d'appels de service.
Thank you very much. And then my second question is more so about something that's been alluded to, which is the fact that this is not just an Ottawa or an Ontario problem, but this is, cross-provincial. I'm just wondering if there are any limitations on the helicopter moving across the border when we might suspect it could be going towards Montreal.
So, who wants to speak to that? Go ahead.
This is odd that it's coming from me, but I will say in briefings with the ministry staff and Minister Kersner's staff, I did raise the question because Ottawa is quite unique compared to other jurisdictions. So there are already agreements in place between the OPP and in some cases, I'm sure Chief Stubbs could say, with the government of Quebec or more likely with the municipalities. So we would not, my understanding, the commitment that was made to me from the government is if we do have a challenge or a scenario where the folks of Gatineau would need it, there would be an arrangement in place, a partnership, where of course there would be remuneration for the activity that would occur, but we would not hold those resources back. And I think, let's use one living, breathing example. I'm a mother. I've been hearing a lot about what's been happening in the Ottawa River with a missing child who may drown. And I think when you look at a situation like that, where life comes first, the province of Ontario will put that life first. I hope that answers your question.
It does, and I wonder if we could also get it in French. Apologies.
Probably not from me, but maybe from her.
You're everybody today.
I am everybody today. Okay. Alors, si Gatineau, parce qu'on est tout proche, c'est quand même la région d'Ottawa, c'est la région d'Ottawa-Gatineau. Alors, on va prioriser la vie avant tout. Alors, si Gatineau, s'il y a un appel, on va vraiment... on va les aider. C'est sûr qu'on va s'assurer qu'il y a un coût, une rémunération. On va s'entendre. Par contre, c'est un partenariat à travailler, puis on ne va pas dire non si les ressources sont vraiment en appel et en demande. What was the other part of the question? I think that covers it. Yeah? Okay.
Hello. Questions for the Solicitor General, please.
Okay.
There was a fatal fire in Canada about 18 months ago, and when we requested the fire marshal's report, it required a paid access request. These reports are extremely thorough and detailed and may well contain life or death information neighbors and the general public can learn from. These publicly funded reports are completed at considerable expense, only to be locked away instead of being made immediately shared with the public. Can you change that?
Well, I want to thank you for the question, and I'll look into it. I'll ask our ministry staff to look into it. I can tell you this, and I met with Chief Paul Hutt, our great fire chief from the city of Ottawa today. I said to him that our government stands with our firefighters each and every day throughout Ontario. They have an enormously difficult job. They are accompanied in rural Ontario by volunteer firefighters, and our government will always stand with the firefighters morning, noon, and night. I'll look into the question that you've asked, and we'll get back to you.
Do
Joanne Lossius, Ottawa citizen. Can you tell me a little bit about whether protocols are going to have to change on the ground as a result of this new weapon, and whether training is going to have to be implemented?
Good morning, and thank you for your question. That is very much an operational type of question. I'm not able to get into the specifics, but generally speaking, yes. And in fact, we've already acknowledged that with Ottawa Police and the OPP, we are going to be having continuous and detailed conversations about the establishment of frameworks that is going to cement both our cooperation and our collaboration together, including prioritization of this tool based on calls for service. So these are all things that are going to happen together as one unified team going forward. Will there be specific training required? Absolutely. Part of that collaboration means that our pilots, our air support team, is also going to have a very detailed relationship with those that are on the ground, communicating with our pilots. When those two teams come together in an operational setting, I can tell you that the effectiveness of that model is proven within the OPP, and we are very happy to share that and work with our Ottawa Police colleagues in that capacity.
And for my second question, there was some mention of carjackings at the press conference yesterday in Toronto. When was the most recent carjacking in Ottawa, and how would having this tool assist you in dealing with that scenario?
Thank you for the question. And I'll just add a little bit to Deputy Commissioner Dart's answer to the last question is those tactical flight officers that we mentioned that are going to come from the Ottawa Police. So as she mentioned, that communication from the helicopter to the ground goes through that tactical flight officer. And that person is in there because he or she knows the city inside out and can direct the pilot and also understand what the officers on the ground are telling them, if it's a street or if it's a backyard or whatever the case may be. So that is the big transition that the people on the ground, the benefit that the people on the ground will have. So now your next question is
about the carjackings.
Well,
when was the most? Are these common? When was the last?
The pilot and also understand what the officers on the ground, the people on the ground will have. So now your next question is
about the carjackings.
Well,
when was the most? Are these common? When was the last one in Ottawa?
Yeah,
how would this help?
I can say that they are here, and I'm going to say, we've had two or three a year, and one of them I can recall, it was targeted, but certainly it's a concern, and it's something where if a helicopter is in the air and there is a carjacking, whether there's somebody, the driver, the owner of the vehicle, or a passenger is still in the vehicle or has left the vehicle, we want to find that vehicle and make sure driver, the owner of the vehicle, or a passenger is still in the vehicle or has left the vehicle. We want to find that vehicle and make sure that person is held accountable and or keeping that person.
I just wanted to add, it is undeniable. I mean, somewhere in Ontario, every few minutes a car is stolen. We have a crisis. And that's why I was here a few months ago at the Ottawa Auto Theft Summit right down the street. And I've said, and I've advocated somebody demanding the car keys. Nobody should be victimized anywhere in Ontario of being in a carjacking. And that's why we're doubling down. We're going to fight auto theft morning, noon, and night. And I'm proud to stand with Premier Ford today and every day and recognize that community safety belongs to everyone. Today's announcement is just another example of how serious our government, led by Premier Ford, takes and prioritizes our public safety.
Thank you. So we're going to have two final media questions.
A little bit already, the jurisdiction and having police
Questions, and then we'll break, okay?
It's Jack Richardson from CTV. I have a question for Chief Stubbs, just about, you've touched on it a little bit already, the jurisdiction and having police officers from the Ottawa Police Service inside the helicopter. Is it going to be the OPP or the Ottawa Police that say we need to put it here at this time?
Who would have guessed that this airport would be this busy? I'll just wait a second. Okay, on the way. Look, when it comes down to, and this is why this is a partnership and this is collaboration. We'll get into a routine, right? We have reactive calls we want to get to, and we have proactive work, and this is collaboration. We'll get into a routine and a process where reactive calls we want to get to, and we have proactive work that we want to accomplish, and that'll be mapped out by our teams every week. And then obviously if something occurs that has to divert it to something because it's operationally emergent, then that's exactly what we'll do. Okay.
And I just have concerns that it's pushing people and those issues into Centertown. And I just wonder if you have a response to that and how that process is ongoing.
We've been working closely with community services and with the Ottawa Police Service to make sure that every part of downtown Ottawa is safe for residents and for business owners and employees. So as we tackle some of the challenges in the Byward Market, we're going to continue to work with business owners on Bank Street and residents of Centertown to make sure their needs are looked after as well. We've had meetings even in the last couple of Byward Market. We're going to continue to work with business owners on Bank Street and residents of Centertown to make sure their needs are looked after as well. We've had meetings even in the last couple of days about that. So we're going to continue to make sure all of downtown Ottawa, including Centertown and the Byward Market, is being addressed, and that our focus on safety continues.
With le droit. I'm going to ask my questions in English because I think the answers are going to come up in English.
First of all, I have to say I am not a pilot, and nor have I ever had the opportunity to work in one of these incredible pieces of equipment. But generally speaking, I can tell you that it is equipped with state-of-the-art technology that is going to assist the officers who are responding to different events with the technology to be able to see in tremendous detail the areas in which that we are searching. It has the ability to also record for the purposes of evidence, all of which contributes, of course, to our court processes and what's required to present files when we have arrested and charged persons. I can tell you that the video footage that these machines capture are incredibly impactful and ensure our success. If you have had the opportunity to watch some of our own footage that we have publicized with the recording of us being able to find and locate a small missing child, it is absolutely overwhelming, incredibly successful, and in state of the art.
Thank you. And I think you might have to stay.
Okay. All right.
Two questions in one, really quick. Is there any cost for the OPS? And the other is, is there any cost for the OPS?
Well, all the funding arrangement has been arranged through our provincial government. Our commitment, which, and maybe the minister wishes to provide further detail on, but that commitment has been made by our provincial government. So I'm not sure, Minister, if you wish to further address that.
And the other question is, why is it taking 12 to 18 months before getting it?
Well, thank you for your question. You know, our government's commitment to Ottawa, to our nation's capital, is approximately $40 million. And it again is a message that Premier Ford has said that we are going to prioritize our public safety morning, noon, and night. We're going to order the helicopter. The OPP has to order the helicopter. It's a twin-engine H-135, and that helicopter has to be ordered. And you know, we want it here in Ottawa, in our nation's capital, as absolutely as soon as possible. But we're not going to stop. You know, Ottawa Police Service and other police services, the OPP, First Nations Police Services, work every day across the province together with joint force operations to keep our community safe. I again want to give a shout out to everyone, civilian and sworn, who wears their uniform or who is in plain clothes to come forward each day to keep our province safe. And we say we will always have their backs. We mean it too.
Charles-Antoine, I'll just say this in terms of the time it's going to take to get a helicopter.
I thought you were getting this one.
No, not getting that one. No, that's an example. We're getting a newer one, and that's why the procurement and having to purchase it takes some time. I will say this though, from conception, from idea, which was for the most part in March, to where we are today, to then get a helicopter in the air, we'll just say the whole thing inside 2 years, is extremely fast. I've been involved in projects where that's a minimum 3 to 5, 6 year process. This is lightning quick, and I couldn't be more pleased with the priority that the provincial government put on it. The team at the Solicitor General's office, the Deputy Minister and the ADM pushed this extremely quick, secured the funding, and here we are today. It's extremely quick. So it might seem like a long time, but in reality, it's very quick.
And this concludes our question period. Alors, ça termine la période de questions. Merci beaucoup. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your afternoon, and thank you for honored guests. And there's photo op time, quite evidently. Okay, thank you.